D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? And have I got a story for you? Now, also down below, you can find the articles that I read to bring you this video, and you can go and check them out yourself and read them for yourself, or you can just watch this video where I'm pretty much going to read it to you. Also, before we get started, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we just keep getting shoved to the back of the line. So please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. All right, now that we got that out of the way, why don't we go ahead and get started? Okay, so Marvel is hiring, and I have two articles for this video, and I'm going to read through this first one, and then the second one, we're going to go over a couple of things with that one. But so Marvel is hiring some Arrowverse writers for their Daredevil Born Again show. And I have some issues with this, and they're from Supergirl, and they've written for Supergirl and Legends of Tomorrow, and I have thoughts on this, and I just let me get into it, but this is not going to be good. Okay, you guys, if you thought Daredevil Born Again was going to be good, it's not going to be good. It is going to be terrible. But let's get into this. Okay, so it says, although the Arrowverse is ending, this doesn't mean the end of the road for its writers, as some have jumped ship to one of the Marvel Studios Disney Plus shows. The Arrowverse has had a long run in the CW, with DC's small screen universe introducing shows such as The Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow. After a 9-year stint and plenty of crossovers, the universe will end with The Flash Season 9. Meanwhile, Marvel Studios is still hitting the ground running, as it is set to release many projects on the small screen, one of them being Daredevil Born Again. Now, two Arrowverse writers have found a new Marvel home. There's more than two. We'll get into that in just a second, but I found this article first, so this was the one that I used for this story. But then the other one goes into some other writers. One writer that I want to talk about, but we'll talk about another one, and you'll get a full list of all the writers that are going on to it. It's a big hot mess. This show's going to be terrible. I just want to say that. Although I'll give me 2 seconds, I'll mention something else. I have a lot to mention, you guys. I've got a lot to mention. So as per the comic circus, Marvel Studios added Jill Blankenship, watch out for her, and Granny, I don't know how to say, Godfrey, to Daredevil Born Again's writer team. The pair both served as writers for the Arrowverse shows. Blankenship was the showrunner and co-creator of Naomi, which is totally crazy. The other article I'll bring up says it's a red flag. It is a red flag. Naomi, I don't know if you watch Naomi. I only made it through 4 episodes. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's a god-awful show. The comic book didn't do well, so they made it into a show. The show didn't do well. The show was terrible. And if you liked it, I'm sorry, you have no taste, but it was terrible. And I just don't understand how these people keep failing upwards. I really don't get it. It's beyond me. But we'll talk about that in just a second. Let me finish this article. Okay, as I was saying, a recently canceled Arrowverse series from the CW. She also wrote 6 Arrow episodes, including Season 8, Episode 9, which was the backdoor pilot for the scrapped Green Arrow and Canary spinoff series, which if you watch that episode, it's not a good episode. It's a terrible episode. I'm all like, again, I don't understand why Hollywood is letting these, why is Marvel hiring these people? I'm sorry, I'm getting into it before I finish this article, but why are they hiring these people and not going back and looking at their work and being like, ooh, this was not good. Maybe we shouldn't hire this person. I just don't understand. And if this woman and Naomi is any representation of what Daredevil Born Again is going to be, I mean, and Born Again is so good. Like, I'm sorry, it's just not going to be good. It's not going to be good. I'm sorry. It's DOA in my opinion. Anyways, okay. Aside from Blankenship's Arrowverse resume, the veteran writer was also the consulting producer for Netflix Sweet Tooth. Now, that show was good, but it had already had a comic book out there for it. And the comic book, I didn't read the comic book, but from what I understand, it was a pretty good adaptation. And it just says she was a consulting producer. So So she had some thoughts on visuals, and maybe she rewrote a scene or whatever. I don't know, but let's see. Okay. So Godfrey wrote for Arrow, The Flash, and 20 episodes of DC Legends of Tomorrow, which probably the back half and totally terrible. That show turned out to be a big hot mess. It went way woke and it was bad. It just was so bad at the end. Ugh, it was crazy. Aside from being a writer in Legends, she also served as its executive producer. Godfrey will also reportedly write and executive produce Jennifer Lynn Barnes' The Inheritance games, which I don't know what that's all about. I have not seen anything about that. So I don't know anything about that, but it's probably going to be terrible also. Daredevil Born Again is set to begin filming next month and will take place throughout the rest of the year. Why adding Arrowverse writers benefits MCU Daredevil reboot? Now let's go through this because this is ridiculous. This comment, it will not benefit, but let's just read through it because they make some pretty dumb points. Okay, so it says, why let's see, the addition of Jill Blankenship and Granny Godfrey to Born Again's writing team is expected to benefit the upcoming Disney Plus series due to the pair's experience writing superhero shows set in a shared universe. False. Moreover, the Arrowverse was filled with exciting crossovers, with the pair also having some experience in that area. Okay, so it's just they've written episodes before with crossovers. So this is a good sign, considering that that lead star Charlie Cox already teased that some potential Marvel characters could make cameos in Daredevil Born Again. I mean, they could, but that doesn't mean they will. The Daredevil writer gig also offers a fresh start for the pair, especially now that the Arrowverse is ending. This opportunity acts as Godfrey's own redemption in the writing realm, mainly because Legends of Tomorrow was unceremoniously canceled last year. I mean, I don't think that this is going to be a redemption, because it's probably just going to be written terribly again. Like I'm sorry, bad writers, unless they get like told no and told that they're bad writers, then they're not going to fix their stuff. I'm sorry, but I think this is going to be bad because these writers were bad writers before, they're bad writers now, and nothing in the subsequent future is going to change that. And they're just going to ruin this Daredevil show. They're just going to ruin it for Disney. So Disney has made their bed, and they have not learned anything from Phase 4. And they're just gonna lay in it. And I'm sorry, I am not down with this sickness. I'll tell you right now. All right, let's go over to this other article. This is from Bounding Into Comics. And let me just hold on. Let me go up to the title of this so that way you can check it out. I'll leave the link in the description, but it says, rumored writers for upcoming Daredevil Born Again series raise multiple red flags. Yes, they do. And this is written by John F. Trent. Okay. So going down, all right, here's where I wanted. So it adds, hold on. We got to go back up because here are the writers for the show, which I want to say real quick. They did put out a thing saying that they've hired a lot of lawyery writer shows for the lawyery parts, which I like that, because I wish they would have done that more with She-Hulk, because She-Hulk could have been a really good show if it would have been more like Ally McBeal. Now, I know a lot of people want to be like, well, I don't remember Ally McBeal being really good. I don't remember anybody complaining about Ally McBeal like they do about She-Hulk. So, I mean, there's that. And if you didn't watch Ally McBeal, of course you don't remember Ally McBeal. And a lot of young people don't, because they weren't born then and they're not going out looking for it. But I remember Ally McBeal. I remember nothing but good things about it. So, I mean, that has to say something. All right, now let me say, it says, now a rumored list of writers for the show comes courtesy of Cosmic Circus, which I should have pulled that article, but I didn't, so, whatever, and claims David Feige, or Phage, whatever, I don't know, Thomas Wong, Jill Blankenship, which this article talks about her, we'll talk about her, Zachary Redtier, Granny Godfrey, Devin Klinger, and Asha Porter Christie. Oh my gosh, these people they have with the 3 names, what is that, are all part of the show's writers room, which is being helmed by showrunners Chris Ord and Matt Corman. You might not be familiar with a lot of these names, but the list contains some massive red flags, which one of them they'll talk about David Feige. I'm going to call him Feige because I don't know if they're related. And then it also talks about the Jill Blankenship, which like I mentioned before, Naomi is a huge red flag. When somebody says, "Oh, I worked on Naomi," I go, "You fired." Okay, I just go, I can't have you on my show. You're just bad. All right, so let's see. It says maybe the biggest red flag is Jill Blankenship. I agree 100%. Again, it just goes back to Naomi. Naomi was so bad, you guys, so bad. The writing was terrible on that show. And I just go, okay. So who was most recently the showrunner and executive producer on the CW's Naomi? Her role as a writer on Daredevil Born Again also appears to be confirmed, as it's listed on her profile on the Writers Guild of America's West's website. Another red flag is Thomas Wong, whose writing expertise on the Writers Guild of America West's website includes race and ethnic issues and sexuality and / gender. I'll bet it also includes legal system and courtroom procedures. So if it's about the, like, listen. Oh, like my mother always, listen. That's what my mother always says before she starts something, when she wants to give me the business. Having, for instance, race and ethnic issues or sexuality and gender issues in this show will not be a problem as long as it doesn't get too woke. And I know you don't like that term if you're watching this and you're getting angry, but if you're going to go the route of She-Hulk and make this into a She-Hulk type show with your legal stuff, and really it's not legal stuff, then it's just going to be bad. It's just going to be bad. And you're going to take another great character and you're going to turn it into crap. Okay. If Mr. Wong is just focusing on the legal issues and the system of the courtroom, stuff like that, and make it into a good show, then I'm all for it. Because that's what this show needs. That's what She-Hulk needed. I think She-Hulk suffered from that. I think I was looking for She-Hulk to be like, you know how when you watch Law and Order and they have the part where the detectives go out and they find all the clues and everything, and then the courtroom scenes towards the end. I thought it would be more like those courtroom scenes. I thought that it would be a little bit more mature in that sense, but it wasn't. But whatever. Okay. So David Feige also appears to be a red flag. A brief look at his Twitter profile reveals he's a political partisan. As an example, just 2 years ago, he was blaming Republicans and Donald Trump for COVID deaths. Now, listen, I don't want to get in, I don't get into politics. But I think that when it comes to a writer's room, when you are a political activist, that's a problem. That tells me that you're not interested in entertaining. You're just interested in getting out your message. You're getting out your political talking points. And I'm not here for that. I don't want to hear your political talking points. I don't care. Keep that stuff out in your personal life. I don't bring my politics to my work. Because I don't think people care. Yeah, I know you're gonna be like, oh, you're a Trump supporter. I'm not a Trump supporter. I just want to say that because I know people get on to me about that stuff, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. So let's. I don't think we need to get into this tweet that he did. But we'll just. I'm not. Yeah, I don't want to get into the tweet because it's just he's obviously an activist, which I'm hugely against. So he has also claimed that the United States of America had turned into a kleptocracy when Donald Trump was president. He wrote on Twitter, "This may be the most grotesque headline I've ever read. Politicians jockeying for tests, finding proximity to Trump is the fastest route because we officially live in a kleptocracy." Okay. So it's very obvious that he's an angry individual. All right, let me just read this. Okay. There might be one bright spot in the writer's room, and that's Granny Godfrey. Okay, I take it back. But although, listen, I just want to say right now, I disagree that, because I forgot about this, but I disagree with there is a bright spot. I disagree, but it's fine. She has cast credits for the first 3 seasons of the CW The Flash, which I will admit, The Flash, the first 3 seasons are probably the best seasons, especially the first one, and the second one's pretty good. And the third one, that's when it starts to go off the rails. before the show went downhill. So they mentioned that too. However, when she then moved on to the CW's Legends or DC's Legends of Tomorrow and set about injecting identity politics into the show, which again was also its downfall. At one point, she described Esperanza Spooner Cruz's character as young Latinx woman from Texas who was kidnapped by aliens and has a thirst for vengeance. She's not going to be the lovable losers that we naturally have, that we normally have. She's going to be pretty tough and gives it to the other legends, and they're going to have to react to her. And I think it's going to throw them off their feet a little bit. And when I hear stuff like that, I just go, what? What's going on here? By the way, that season was terrible. Godfrey also claimed in 2016, the time to despair is over. Now is the time for resistance. We must fight the bigotry and sexism of Trump's campaign. See, so this is the thing. I just go, I'm not going to read the rest of this stuff for this article, just because I just go, it's not going to be good, you guys. Daredevil Born Again is going to be terrible. It's just going to be terrible. And I think that when you have writers that are constantly, virtue signaling, and they're putting in their identity politics and they're putting their politics into these shows, I think that it just ends up being a bad show. Like, you want to put politics into a show, fine, put it in there subtly. It's fine. I say go ahead. But when you just blatantly throw it in your face, you're just like, eat my politics, eat my politics. And you're not like, I'm on a diet, I'm not hungry right now. Maybe just a nosh of your politics. But these people don't know. They don't know anything about subtlety. I'm sorry, I went on a little bit of a rant there. This show's just going to be bad. I'm telling you right now, Daredevil Born Again is going to be terrible. It's just going to be terrible. So get ready for that. And if you're a huge Daredevil fan and you're a fan of Daredevil Born Again, the comic, you're going to be very disappointed. And if you're a Daredevil fan and you're happy with it, then you're a Daredevil fan. All right, I'm done with my rant here. Tell me, what do you guys think about all of this? How do you feel about all these writers joining the Daredevil Born Again show? I mean, it's going to be bad. You remember that scene from Supergirl in the last season with what's her face, and she's all like that one scene where she's like, no touching without consent.
No touching without consent.
Yeah, that scene was just terrible. It was like, if that's the writing that we can expect for Daredevil Born Again, get ready for cringe and just terrible writing. It's just going to be bad. And I'm not going to hold out hope. It's I DOA already. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to wrap this up. Tell me what you guys think. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week. You guys have a good week. Bye.